Well, this week, the Justice Department charged a Pakistani national with plotting to assassinate current and former U.S. officials. The suspect, Asif Merchant, has alleged ties to the Iranian government. He is accused of planning a murder-for-hire scheme targeting multiple prominent figures, including former President Donald Trump. While the arrest happened just weeks after the July 13th shooting at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania, there is no indication the cases are related. CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd joins us now for our weekly national security wrap-up. Sam, welcome. So what more do we know about this alleged plot?
Well, Elaine, to put this in context, ever since the Trump administration's successful operation to kill General Qasem Soleimani, who had been the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, there has been a range of Iranian-linked threats to Mr. Trump, and officials in his administration perceived to be associated with this operation. They have really ranged in sophistication and geographic scope, targeting officials within the U.S., as well as while they traveled overseas. Now, we learned a few weeks ago that the U.S. Secret Service was briefed on an Iranian-linked threat to Mr. Trump and enhanced their protective measures. We now know that that threat stream was this Pakistani individual who was plotting to kill Mr. Trump and other political figures. The FBI received a tip about this threat stream and used various tools and tactics, including confidential human sources and other surveillance methods, to investigate the threat and ultimately to mitigate it. The individual is in custody and he's cooperating, and there doesn't appear to be an ongoing threat to Mr. Trump and political figures emanating from this individual. At the same time, authorities know that the Iranian regime will continue to try to retaliate against Mr. Trump and members of his administration for the operation. And so security will have to stay heightened in order to protect them.
Really sobering development there. Well, turning to the Middle East, Hamas has named a new political leader. What do we know about him, and how could that affect ceasefire negotiations?
Well, Israel reportedly assassinated Ismail Haniyeh, who had been serving as Hamas's political leader, and an individual named Wahwa Sinwar, who had been serving as the head of Hamas's operations in Gaza, has taken over. Sinwar is viewed as one of the most militant figures in the terrorist organization and was one of the, if not the key mastermind of the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack against Israel. Mr. Haniyeh had been serving as Hamas's lead negotiator in ceasefire and hostage release negotiations. Mr. Sinwar will essentially take over that role, which may create some practical problems. He's in deep hiding. It's hard to get messages to him or responses from him. Now, right before Mr. Haniyeh's death, mediators had received Israel's latest proposal. Mediators announced on Thursday that they would be tabling a final bridging proposal for the parties next week. We understand the parties are set to meet on August 15th, and mediators and, frankly, the rest of the world are hoping that they can reach a conclusion to the ceasefire and hostage release negotiations expeditiously.
Well, finally, Israel is bracing for a retaliatory strike from Iran or its proxies. How is the region, Sam, preparing for the potential attack?
Well, Israel is bracing from a retaliatory attack from Iran because of their assassination of Mr. Haniyeh, as well as from Hezbollah because they assassinated a senior Hezbollah figure as well. Focusing on the Iranian regime retaliation, we know that in April, as part of another retaliatory strike, Iran launched about 300 aerial assets into Israel, most of which never hit the ground, largely because of a coalition that came together, including the United States, to help protect Israel. This time around, Muslim countries are not supporting Iran retaliating against Israel. Jordan, for example, told Iran that they would shoot down any Iranian assets in their airspace. The United States is engaged in a diplomatic campaign to encourage Iran not to further escalate. The United States has moved a range of additional military assets into the region, including another fighter squadron and more missile defense assets. Iran's decision is really focused on whether to try to mitigate any civilian casualties, to instead focus on military targets, and to try to ramp down the pressure while launching a retaliatory strike for the assassination.
That's yet another sort of chapter of elevated tensions in an area that is known for the complex geopolitics. Sam Vinograd. Sam, thank you so much.
Thanks.